the CIA. Just who do we trust anymore? And would the CIA or the FBI really come forth if this was going down, as Trump suggested? But anyway, on the line we have Dennis Stone. Dennis Stone, America's Stonehenge Ancient Site. And Dennis, how are you?
I'm fine, Rhett. Thank you for having me on today.
Thank you for calling. Where are you geographically in the United States of America?
Yeah, we're on the East Coast. We're in southern New Hampshire, about 40 miles north of Boston, and we're right on the border. It's a town called Northfield, New Hampshire, and about 20 miles from the Atlantic Ocean, and we're about 40 miles south of Concord, New Hampshire, so
No.
between Boston and Concord, actually.
Okay, so you're right on the border of Massachusetts and New Hampshire?
That's right. Yeah, we are in New Hampshire. We get confused with Salem, Massachusetts quite a bit, but we're actually in New Hampshire. That's right.
Well, I just wanted to warn you that we're going to be, we also publish Vero's Voice magazine, and we're going to be coming up this summer to see you, and we're going to see America's Stonehenge. Now, there's a Stonehenge, an ancient site just like yours in England, correct?
Oh, that's correct. It's world famous, and it's one of about 50,000 megalithic sites in Western Europe, but it's the most famous megalithic site in the world. I think we get about 1 million visitors a year there, so it is world famous for sure.
Okay, you said mytholitic. What's the word you used?
Yeah, my voice is a little bit sore. I apologize. It's megalithic. It means huge stone. So megalithic comes from two Greek words, mega meaning large, and then lithic is stone. So megalithic, and these megalithic sites are actually on about 6 out of 7 continents around the world. It just generally means huge stone sites, and there's a similarity between them too, which is kind of interesting.
Now, some people, so you have this, I never knew about this until Erwin Zucker booked you on my show, that this existed in New Hampshire. And I can't wait to come up this summer and see this. Are you going to give us a personal tour?
I'll give you a personal tour, and I can see you working on your accent already. It sounds good. It sounds a little bit more like Maine. Maine has kind of an accent like what you just did there, but
Yeah.
we have our own accent.
The only thing to fear, the only thing to fear is fear itself. Yes. Yeah. How's that?
Good. You did work on that, yeah?
Park the car on Harvard Yard.
That's a little closer to us. That's right. Yep.
Park the car. I love Boston. Boston definitely has. I go to Bar Harbor and Northeast Harbor every summer, but Boston has the best chowder I ever had.
Yeah, those are beautiful places up there for sure. And by then, hopefully, the snow will be gone. We got about a foot of snow on the ground right now, so
Mm.
it's been kind of a little bit rough lately. But people still come up to visit during the winter time. We snowshoe up here, and we got people visiting the ruins during the winter. We've been open about 60 years since 1958. So
Wow. So Manchester, we usually fly into Manchester. It's such a nice little town there.
yeah,
And
it's very very convenient. Yeah, and it's easy parking. It's about 20 minutes from where our museum is, so it's very very good.
you're kidding. You're
Yeah,
that close.
yeah.
So we can fly in. We can fly in. We can go to the airport diner there, and the
Oh
one,
yeah,
yeah, love that diner, famous diner.
the Common Man, I think it is. Yeah,
I love that
right at
diner.
the airport. Yeah.
Yeah, the one near. It's not in the airport, but near the airport. And then we can go to America's Stonehenge. Now, in case somebody's listening and they have to go in to do a business deal, or somebody has to walk into the kitchen to take the cookies out of the oven. What is your website at America's Stonehenge?
Sure, yeah. The website is StonehengeUSA.com, and there's an email link in there, and also a phone number in there in case anybody wants to reach us. And the website's pretty good. We try to update it as often as we can.
So, do you think that this was some sort of a beacon for UFOs or aircraft travel?
Well, we think we're interested in all those subjects, but we think the site's an ancient site that a culture of people were building. Actually, there's about 800 sites in New England too. Ours is not the only site, but it's the largest site. And so they go from actually up into Scotia, New Brunswick. They go into Quebec, and they go right down to the Mid-Atlantic states. And these are large stone constructions. You can walk into most of these. They have stone roofs. There's no cement that was used to construct them, and there's no metal tool markings on them. So it seems to be a Stone Age technology that was used to quarry the stones, shape the stones, kind of shaped like an arrowhead using a technique called percussion plate alignments for the sun, moon, and stars. And we just had the equinox yesterday, so we had a sunrise over a particular stone that's about 9 feet long. Unfortunately, that stone has fallen down, and it sat over other stones on the other side to the west. So it's kind of cool. These look like large arrowhead-shaped stones, actually.
Really? So what do you think? What do you think they are?
Well, we think the site's a ceremonial site, and like the 50,000 megalithic sites of Europe, like Stonehenge, it's a monument. We think.
50, 50. Hold on, 50,000.
Yeah, the 50,000, and when I grew up with this in the 50s and 60s, I grew up Stonehenge, thinking that was it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and as you could, yeah, but you just Google the word megalithic. Megalithic sites is a big one. You'll find they go, and I thought they were just Western Europe after I found out there are many more than just one. Ireland has over 2,000 megalithic sites. You go to the Neolithic, the New Stone Age, right into the Bronze Age, and then that whole construction process seems to have stopped, but it covered many, many years. There is a site in Turkey that's megalithic. It's called Göbekli Tepe, and the date right now, I think that's accepted by the scholars and mainstream archaeologists and everything for different types of techniques they use on it. This site dates back 11,600 years old. It's twice as old as the pyramids. It's over twice as old as Stonehenge in England, and it's a megalithic site. It's in Turkey, and I just became familiar with that about the last year or two. But they go right into China, India, Korea. The peninsula had over 100,000 megalithic sites. That's the highest density that I'm aware of. And most recently, we found that Australia, if you Google Australia Stonehenge, it's a pretty fascinating site. And I just had two families from Australia visiting our site about 2 months ago, and I asked them if they were aware of that. They were not. This is a fairly new discovery, if you will. And when we pulled it up on the computer, they said, "Oh, my daughter lives nearby there, but she has not heard of this either." So, and they're also in, South America, the Amazon Stonehenge. That I became familiar with last year too. So we're still learning about this stuff. So there are 6 out of 7 continents. Nothing Antarctic that I'm aware of.
So now, Dennis, you grew up like I did, believing that England's Stonehenge was the only one in existence. So I was thinking maybe you inherited this site from your parents. Obviously, that's not that, because otherwise that wouldn't have been your truth. So how did you end up? Are you running this? Are you the curator? Are you the new owner? What's going on here?
Yeah, my dad actually involved this. The family involvement starts in 1955 with my dad. He was an AT&T Bell Laboratories engineer, and he had just got out of the Coast Guard, serving time up with the Vikings. Basically, we ended up near Newfoundland, Canada, 1,000 years ago. So he had an interest in history, and he was listening to a radio talk show out of Boston, one of the biggest stations down there. It's going on in its 80th year. And this particular evening was on a Friday night. It was called Yankee Yarns. Alton Hall Blackington was the talk show host, and they're talking about these strange ruins, which were about 8 miles from my dad lived. And he had never heard of this either. So he got real fascinated by the radio show. It really took him in kind of. And about a week or so later, he was in a barber shop looking at the magazine, waiting to have his haircut. And it's called New Hampshire Profile magazine from 1952. The magazine at that time was 3 years old. He's opening it up, and there's a whole feature about the same site he just heard about on the radio. He said, "My God, this is strange, within a week he heard of this place and never heard of it, before that." He got a card game. My aunt and uncles with a bunch of friends on a Saturday night right after that, and he puts the magazine on the table and says, it's about maybe a dozen people. He said, "Anybody ever heard of this place?" And my aunt and uncle looked at it and they go, "Oh, we were there back in the 1930s picnicking." It was kind of a place that people kind of knew about. Some people knew about it. It was a fascinating place because all these big stone ruins. It was kind of a magnet, for kids and everybody to go out there. And they rode their bikes about 10 miles just to get there, and they picnicked there in the 1930s. So that following weekend, my dad and my mom and the family went down there. I think I stayed with Grandma. I was about a year old. It's kind of to date myself a little bit, but so they went up and they saw it, and yeah, that's basically the rest is history. My dad opened it up in 1958. He leased the site from a gentleman named Malcolm Pearson, who just died recently at 99 years old. Malcolm had a lifetime involvement with some of these ruins around New England, just like my dad. And so it was opened up as Mystery Hill Caves in 1958. And 1963, they dropped the word caves because it's really not caves; they're man-made structures. And by 1982, the name American Stonehenge came up because we knew by 1967, that's when the work of the astronomical alignments began, that we had alignments for the solstices, for winter and summer, spring and fall equinox. And that astronomical work really intensified around 1973 when we hired a survey to come in and to survey all these different points. In 1978, they sent us all the data to the Harvard Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics in Cambridge, Mass. And the results was they said that if this was used for astronomical purpose with the sun's, moon, and stars, would work about 1800 BC, plus or minus about 200 years. Each of the years still very slowly changing. There's an era today. But if you were back to about 1800 BC, and plus or minus 200 years, it would actually work right on. Just like Stonehenge and any other many thousands of sites that are lying, they're off a little today again. And that's a way of dating them, actually. So that was really good news for us. And the oldest tower dating we had got on the main site, it's about 1 acre of stone structures from 1971, was 4,000 years old. So these two dates pretty much came to, they kind of jived with one another, same time period, about 2000 BC. So that's how my family got involved with it. I did inherit it from my dad. And my son is an engineer just like my dad. I was an airline captain for 35 years. I just retired last year. So I had, always been interested in, space and all of that stuff, And we used to go up and take a lot of aerial photographs all over New England of some of these other sites, to see what they look like there, to photograph and record them. And so we had a lot of fun with that too. So now my time is pretty much devoted to the site. We're finding all sorts of cool stuff up there just recently.
I'm looking at it online right now, and it was a little difficult to get past London because everybody thinks that's Stonehenge in England, But so this is quite interesting. Now, for my listeners, how can they, you have an 800 number? Do you have a website? How do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, that website, StonehengeUSA.com, is the way to go. StonehengeUSA.com.
Okay.
And when they get to that, here's the phone number for our museum. The number is 603-893-8300. And if you want to talk to one of us, £0, and an operator will pick it up.
Okay, 603-893.
And 8300.
8300. And we what do we do? Press the pound sign?
Yeah, £0, and one of us will pick up.
Oh, zero, go £0. £0.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of information on there about snowshoeing or whatever activity we got going on. So.
603-893-8300. Okay. Well, this is really interesting stuff, and I do look forward to meeting you this summer. And we would like to feature your Stonehenge in our Vero Beach magazine. Actually, Barbara, who's the editor-in-chief, her son just graduated up in Canada. He's got his doctorate in archaeology, and he just flew in from Italy literally 4 days ago. And so this would be right up his alley if he flies up to visit us when we go to Maine,
Well, that sounds exciting. Yeah, I mean, even in Italy, there's megalithic sites. All you hear is about the Roman, Etruscan, or we went to Greece on a honeymoon back in '85. My wife, we saw the ancient Greek.
Yeah.
Later on, I found out there's megalithic sites that predate the Greek. Go way back before that. So it's like I wish I'd seen a couple of those too when I was up there. We did go to Malta. Malta has incredible. We stayed at the New Dolmen Hotel. That's the type of megalithic site. It's a big stone with lights on it. They're in New York. They're over in Europe. They're in Australia. These type of things were all over the world. And we stayed at the New Dolmen Hotel in Malta. And that at that time, back 20 years ago, they said those are the oldest megalithic sites in the world. And as I mentioned, goes back to almost the end of the last glacial period. 11,600 years, which is amazing to all of us. Civilization built something. It was civilization, and they built something like that.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so these things are worldwide.
All right, Dennis. Thank you very much. Again, the number, folks, is 603-893-8300. 603-893-8300. StonehengeUSA.com. And that's it, right?
Yeah, thank you. That's it.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me
Sure.
on. We'll have the red carpet out when you come.
Wonderful.
Tell us when you're coming.
I will. And tell Erwin Zucker, thank you very much for booking you on my show.
I certainly will. Thank all of you for that. Have a very, very nice day.
You too, Dennis.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Now we have the former White House, well, not White House, former deputy director of the CIA in here this morning. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm
Just Mr. Kerr, Dick Kerr, right?
Yes, that's right.
All right. Good to see you.
Fascinating discussion about Stonehenge. I've never heard of it.
Me either. So this is what happens. And the booking agent was out in Hollywood, California that booked him, and yet he lives in New Hampshire. And it's only minutes from the Manchester airport, which is a lovely little airport to fly into, and has been thus far. What do you think about that, Biblical Bill?
That is certainly interesting, and no, I didn't know there was a Stonehenge USA.
Neither did I. Now, Dick, this whole thing with there's a lot of us out there that voted for Trump. We want to change. He certainly is a loose cannon, to say the least. I wake up some mornings, I go, Donald Trump is our president? Oy vey, what next? But, first of all, I don't think there's anybody out there who could have beat Hillary. And he is stirring the pot. The Republicans a lot of Republicans are angry with him. And certainly I've never seen such devils rearing their head on the far left. I mean, the right may have said some pretty ill things about Obama's wife, Michelle, but my word, they're just like it's like the pen has opened up, the Pandora's box. It's terrifying what's going on.
And it is amazing.
Yeah,
It's an unwillingness to accept the results of the election.
yeah,
And I find the whole Trump thing kind of fascinating personally.
yeah.
And what he's doing is turning the clock back. He's erasing all of Obama's quote achievements.
Yeah.
A couple of years from now, there will be no trace of the Obama administration.
Well, you think that really?
I mean, he is working very hard at it.
Well, he seems to be, it got so far to the left with him in office. You notice you're not seeing as much violence in the streets. Why not?
I don't know. I don't know that Chicago is certainly continuing to
Yeah,
be
well,
violent
that's, oh yeah, that. But I'm talking about the
Protests.
protests. Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's all simmered down. I mean, we got to go to work.
Yeah, there's university protests against Trump, but that's a different kind of protest. It's not against the police.
Not my president. Well, then get the hell out. Because this is America. I accepted Obama. You need to accept Trump. But at the same time, I have liberal friends, and I can understand how a liberal would be scared to death. The bad news is liberal people think we're the only ones with hearts. They don't think Republicans have any hearts. We're the only ones that have hearts. And they think the end justifies the means, excuse me. And I'm thinking next trip out, they're going to be willing to literally do the illegal. They think that Trump did it. So they're going to take it to the next step, and they will do it blatantly. It's even, I mean, I used to watch NBC News every night, and it's blatantly anti-Trump, and they're not hiding it anymore.
No, they're not. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Local newspapers. I mean, you look at our local newspaper, read the headline over the past several months.
Yeah,
None of them are positive.
nothing.
All of them cast a negative view of whatever Trump is doing.
Journalism is dead.
Very hard. It's very hard at this point in time for anybody to be objective. You seem to have to take one side or the other. Very few people can sit back and assess the situation calmly and objectively.
What I'm worried about is he is stirring the pot. And first of all, a lot of us are worried for his life. Because the last guy that was stirring the pot, believe it or not, was really JFK, right?
Yeah.
And he was going to take some people down. And I don't know what you believe. Now you're the former deputy director of the CIA, so you can't really say things to me because you sort of have, you're kind of like, you represent the honor of the CIA.
I hope so.
Yeah. So even if you thought that somebody in our government had taken down JFK, you wouldn't have the privilege, nor would you even want to express that on radio, right?
Well, I don't believe, based on the facts that I know, independent of CIA, I think the evidence to me is fairly persuasive that it was done by a single individual.
Can I count on the CIA that they do have, Rhett Palmer? I was the dishwasher at the Italian restaurant when I was 13. When I was 9, I sold lemonade, and I shined shoes in the winter at the Poughkeepsie Plaza with the barbershop and old Tony, who was the Italian guy, and there were 4 other barbers. And I've always thought that the CIA has my back and the FBI has my back. Are you confident, as a common guy like me, that your organization has my back?
I certainly was confident when I was there. I'm a little concerned about what has happened over the past couple of years and what is happening now, but I think the organization is in good hands right at this moment. So I do have confidence, and I'm a little confused by the director of the FBI and exactly kind of what his objectives are. I mean, I found, for instance, the testimony yesterday a touch confusing, willing to talk about some cases, but unwilling to talk about others.
Well, they're saying that there wasn't the wiretapping, yet they're quoting the wiretapping results
Yeah, it's,
because they say that Trump's being investigated because of the Russian thing. So is he or ain't he? And the same, if you analyze everything he said, he was saying we're not doing it, and he said, but we did it.
well,
Think about it.
He's certainly saying there's an investigation of Trump and the Russians. I mean, that was clear. That is ongoing. The thing that's interesting, he said it was ongoing since July. July was before Trump was even chosen at the convention.
So he said that.
He did, and it was very puzzling, as to how can you have an investigation of Trump going on for that long, and for what, under what conditions? Why? And no one picked that up and kind of followed up the
Well, how about
question.
this Michael Savage? Now, Michael Savage
Uh,
makes a lot of money for himself and blah, blah, blah. But he's come out now saying that he has proof that Americans have been wiretapped as well as Trump and other people. This continues on. Let's say there isn't any of this business. Well, then everything's going to be cool. But if there is, I'm in fear of the life of my president because somebody's got something to hide, and that scares me. And that's why I'm really worried. I am the quintessential American boy. I shine shoes. I clean dishes at the Italian restaurant. I sold lemonade at 9. And this was no ordinary lemonade stand, I'll have you know. The average factory worker was making $1.30 an hour. For 10 hours work, that's $13. I was making $30 a day selling lemonade on that private golf club. So this was not small. I bought my first motion picture camera at 9 with that money. So, but I am the entrepreneur, and I am the all-American boy, and I just want to make sure that my country is protected because I love my country. I'm sure you do too.
I certainly do.
You're clear. The nose took you.
Well, I don't know how. It's 10:59. How did it take me? It was only 10:52. It was 10:52. So Bixby here says, BS test for Dick. Did Oswald kill Kennedy?
10:59:50 is when they took. So I don't know where you're getting 10:52.
11. It said a 10:59, 52 seconds. That's when it cut out.
That's correct.
Oh, that's what it's supposed to?
That's what it's supposed to.
Oh, okay. Hey, is she here?
Yes.
Oh, then we got to clear this out.
Yep.
You and I are going to go to the back door and record it.
Yes, and I told her that you're doing a recording in back. So
Okay, is her mother here or no?
yes.
But that's
she's,
okay.
She's going to come up here.
Oh, okay.
An extremely important topic. Wow.
Yeah.
I do hope that it's not because of the cold weather that when things warm up again, we'll see more of the.
Here's all your pens.
But
More of the what?
the demonstrations and the
you,
revolts
Mr. B.
and rioting and
Oh, nah.
Don't forget that note
They got to get worn out.
perhaps civil war.
about Hale Groves.
Oh, what about Hellgross?
You have to check on that, or check on
Yeah.
what they're supposed to be doing.
Okay, I'll take this, and we're all set.
Okay, she's having a guest, so I'll leave none of these waters were open.
You have a good afternoon.
Take care, Biblical Bill.
Still more. Thank you. Good week to you.